Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. I am Marta Junqué. I am the co-coordinator of the Barcelona Time Use Initiative, but here I'm talking as a secretariat of the Genera of the Local and Regional Governments Time Network. Good morning, everybody that is here on site, on the room. It's very nice to see some familiar faces that we have been working together during the last year. And also, good morning to everybody that is following us online. We have more than 300 people connected around the world following this event. Today, we will celebrate the General Assembly of the network. There will be online participation and on site participation, and we will be talking on municipalities and regions, the key players of the time revolution. We will talk more about that. So, for this introduction, I would like to welcome Laura Pérez, who is the councillor of the Barcelona City Council. And then, following Ms. Laura Pérez, there will be Albert Castellanos, Vice President of the Assembly of European Regions. So, Laura, please welcome and welcome to the stage.
Good morning. The microphone doesn't seem to be connected. The microphone is not connected. Hello. Now we're in business.
Barcelona estava dient que és un plaer estar aquí avui inaugurant aquesta Assemblea General per la xarxa de governs.
General Assembly for the General Assembly for time. I'd like to thank the organization for all the hard work that they've done to be able to enjoy this joint days of work between local governments and regions. And also I'd like to thank all those of you who've come to Barcelona and all those who are following us online, more than 300 people who have connected. I think this year, one of the things we should celebrate is to be able to be together, even though we're in a hybrid format. And that is one of the big changes of the last meetings, where we can at least celebrate a in-person meeting, and a very relevant event for the city of Barcelona, because this year we are meeting you here as the world capital of time use policies 2022-2023. Barcelona has a long history in time policies. Today we will have the opportunity to explain the current situation and all this period of commitment of the institution and of the city itself. Because let's harken back to 2003, when the first Department of Time Use Policy was set up in Spain, in the whole of Spain, and it does have a certain bearing on time use policies and cross-cutting policies concerning gender and time. And we wish to follow that and continue and ensure that there is continuity to this effort in time use policies. And the candidacy of the capital of time use policies was approved by the Assembly last year. It is not just mere paying lip service. We shall see what are the municipal policies in terms of time use initiatives, and we can contribute significantly to make or to give visibility to time use policies and their importance towards citizens as a key question for the future of cities. At the end of the day, what we want is there to be a positive knock-on effect, if you like, of how we organize our use of time. And we are facing a big challenge which will affect us in the future. Time and how its use is distributed among different groups can allow us to help our health, aligning our social if you like, endeavors with our natural cycles. We shall be able to talk about what the city council does, and talk about its impact on the policies, on care policies, and the emphasis we're given on those which are where there's overburden, and where the negative impact on the health of carers who work intensively, often without any remuneration in many cases. They're looking after or caring for members of their families, and we are trying to follow and look after those who suffer from that, and particularly women who suffer from the lack of control over their own time. And also, all this has, if you like, a bearing on issues like town planning. We shall talk about thinking of the city from proximity, talk of the city, the 15-minute city, and we share this in many other cities, and also have the emphasis on alliances that have been, if you like, brought with other players, and in Barcelona, we're attempting to reach out to enterprises and companies and business to find this sensibility. It's not easy. It's a cultural change. And we have to establish alliances with the academic world, with public administrations, with citizenry, public opinion, different administrations, and quite apart from business and enterprises. So I would like to welcome the opening of this assembly, because we're in a constant learning curve, aren't we? And for many of us, many of the initiatives are also inspirational and provide us mutual support and will allow us to move forward in time use policies. I hope you have a very fruitful assembly.
Dear participants to the General Assembly of the Local and Regional Time Governments Network, I hope you're enjoying the city and getting the most these days in the Time Use Week. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this General Assembly, not only on behalf of the Assembly of European Regions, but also on behalf of the Catalan government. La revolució del temps ha començat, de fet.
Well, starting from time use policy have started from our neighborhoods, districts, boroughs, as this week bears out. There are occasions to share experiences and to ponder about how we can accelerate and push forward these policies. If we want a healthier society, which is more productive and more sustainable, we have to go down that track, which will guarantee that the right to time use is seen as a fundamental right and recognized as such. The way we manage our time is the way we should administer our lives. There is much evidence that show us that social welfare is tied up with a good use of time. A reform of time use could improve productivity of enterprises up to the tune of 13%, according to pilot projects started in countries such as the United Kingdom, for instance. As with other controversies, this last year has been a year of partial stoppage in implementation of these kind of policies. We have to initiate these policies, which have started in the last few years, before the pandemic. Furthermore, the pandemic has also affected our perception of time, and we shall have to see which measures should be maintained to rethink matters. At the European level, there's a wide-ranging debate concerning important issues concerned with policies of times, such as new ways of organizing work and timetables, and to what extent can we guarantee the right to digital disconnection or move towards a 4-day week? Or if we have to continue changing certain matters, the time zones between daylight saving time or summertime. we do need to strengthen our endeavor, and the action plan we are presenting precisely goes towards strengthening and sharing good practices and exchanging initiatives on our time use plan. So I trust that you will take the maximum benefit of today's event, and thank you very much to the organizers for making this possible.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Laura. And welcome again, because you have been here from many years ago, but also last year when we restarted this network. So thank you very much for everybody. And now we are going to start explaining this. We will dedicate the next 60 minutes explaining what we have done as a network last year, the different activities that we have done. And for that, I would like to call here in the stadium, I would like to call, first of all, Angelo Genacaro, the councillor of the city of Bolzano. Good morning. Then Marina Lafay, the councillor of the city of Strasbourg. Bonjour. Then I will call Sonia Ruiz, the Gender and Time Policy Service of the Barcelona City Council, and as well our colleagues, some of our colleagues from Latin America. I will call Diana Parra, councillor at the Bogota City Council. Good morning. And I think that it's all that we need to be here right now in this panel. Noemi will be supporting us from the public, and then we will follow with the second part. As we say, the first part of the network will be to explain what we have been doing, and the second part of this General Assembly will be focusing on the new members that have joined to the network and welcoming them. For that, we will do several presentations explaining what we have done. And I will start as a secretariat of the network, making a short presentation. Because as we said, today there is a lot of people that is listening us because they want to know more about the network, what they are doing. So then we will project a small presentation to do an introduction of the network and also to explain what we have done. And later we can talk about that. Sounds good? Yes? So let's start. Let me check how does here. Very good. So today, as we were saying, we are in the General Assembly. We will talk about the network. We will talk about what has been done in 22 and which is the calendar of the network for 2023. It is very important explaining where we are going because other people can also participate to these events. First of all, what is the network? The network, most of you that are here in the room know already, the network is a meeting point. And the objective of the network is to exchange and promote time policies that are already implementable, that are already implemented, and that are generated in the local and regional network. So the idea is to gather all together and to exchange. Let's talk about the name of the network, because it's a bit long. We know that, but we wanted to be very clear on what we were doing. So the network is called local and regional because it's open to municipalities, but also to metropolitan areas and also to regional governments. Okay, so it's open to 3 types of actors. The second word that appears in the title is governments. So we are not open just for associations, but especially we are working for those that are implementing policies. Okay, so governments. The key name on the network is time. So what we talk about is time policies. Okay, so that's why we call local and regional governments time network. A network, because as we said, is a meeting point. This is the picture of last year in 2021. You can see some of the faces today in the scenario were already last year in the um, refounding of the network. And what I wanted to explain now a bit of the vision, no? Because when you have a network, you need to know where we are going. As most of you know, time policies emerged in Europe, especially in Italy and in France, and here we have two municipalities representing them. In the 80s, in 1980s, the time policies emerged in France and in Italy. The idea, they were very linked to care, no? Especially women and conciliation and work-life balance topics. Because municipalities and the regions were doing a lot of policies, in 2008, it was agreed to create this network. Initially, this network was called European Network of European Municipalities Network. No? Municipalities that were working at the European level doing time policies. After many years of working, and I want to recognize the role specifically of Tempo Territoriale, which we have some members here presented in the room, dynamizing the network, last year, after the pandemic, we defined that it was moment to relaunch the network, to rethink on what was this second generation of time policies in 2021st century. So basically, apart from moving from an European point of view to an international point of view, apart from focusing from a municipality point of view to a region's point of view and also metropolitan area point of views, we also decide to talk about more topics, not only time and care, but especially focusing on three additional areas. That is health, sustainability, and work. Okay, these were the areas that we also decide to talk when we refer to time policies, apart from everything that it relates to care. In 2022, that is now, no, 2022 and 2023, we decide to create a project for consolidation and expansion of the network beyond Europe, not only in Europe. And we will see the results that we got in 1 year. Okay? But as I was explaining to you, the most important point is where we are going, which is our view. And our view is that the time policies needs to be a key political area in all the municipalities and regions around the world so citizens can live better, can live in a more egalitarian society, can live in a more healthier society, and companies can be sustainable and as well productive. Our objective is also that European Union and United Nations can recognize the right to time. And yesterday we were discussing about right to time, and we said that to create a right, it's not easy. We need many people, and from very different backgrounds. So that's why we want to work as a network to arrive further all together. And last but not least, also as a network, we want to have members around the world. At the moment, we are especially focused in Europe and Latin America, but we hope in 2030 to have members around the world. This is, as I was explaining, the vision of the network. As I explained, there is a project that we committed last year when we relaunched the network that is managed by a board of the network. And who includes that? It includes the Barcelona City Council. We had Laura and Sonia will be speaking on behalf of. Also Strasbourg City Council, and here we have Marina. We have Bolzano City Council, and here we have Angelo. And as well other associations that are key to develop this project. Tempo Territoriale, the German Society for Time, and recently we added to the board Bogota City Council that yesterday you participated in the first meeting, so welcome. All of that, all of the work of the network is managed through a secretariat that is run by the Barcelona Time Use Initiative. A couple of informations more, and regarding of objective. I think that it is very important that now that we know all the vision, where we are going, it is also important to know which are the objectives of the network. The first objective that we established last year was to share knowledge among the members and develop the good practices among us. So what's the first thing that we did? The first thing that we did is to create a new website where you can find all the information about the network and also about good practices. This website is timepolicies.info, and here you will find all the information in English and available for all of you. And the second thing that we did is let's start doing action, not just talking, let's do acts. And for doing acts and exchanging good practices, what we did was to build the local and regional time agenda. What is the local and regional time agenda? Again, one of these names that no one understands. So what is that? Is we wanted to be a white book of the second generation of time policies. And we wanted to include inside real and concrete practices. We did it. No, we planned to do that, and we did the first publication. In June 2022, we did our first publication of the local and regional time agenda, talking on the topic of life balance. So which policies were the municipalities and the regions of the network doing to ensure that we can find a better balance between work, care, sleep, and personal time, which are key dimensions for the right of time. This, as you can see, on the top you have the publication of the local and regional agenda, and also you have a picture of the conversation that we had online. Now, and as we will see during the day of today, we are working on our second topic that was chosen by the General Assembly last year, that is mobility, sustainability, and the city of 15 minutes. So the idea of time and proximity, time and sustainability. I'm not going to explain more here because there will be today, following this event, a presentation on that. And as this is a General Assembly, we wanted to open some questions for you. Okay, it's not just talking, it's also open for participation, both the people that is following us online and especially those that are in the room. The topic that we wanted to discuss with you is which is the theme that we want to discuss next year in the local and regional time agenda. Yesterday, while discussing with the board, we had 4 proposals, and we would like to listen to your opinion in which of these topics do you think that are more relevant to focus. Remember, we want to share practices that are being implemented, okay? So it's not just philosophy, it's real examples, okay? And share how we are doing. The first topic that we are proposing is time as a key element for participation and democracy. We know that the studies show that if people do not have private time and personal time, it's very difficult that they participate in democracy and the life of the community. So time is a very important element on that, and municipalities and regions have an important role to promote that. The second element, especially important in other cities that are already working on that, as some cities from France and in Italy, is the night dimension of time. During the night, happen a lot of activities, but especially we need to sleep, no, and to promote sleep, but also transport. We can also talk about culture. So how we find a balance between all these elements. The third topic that we want to propose to you is the role of the cities and regions on the new organization of the working time. We know that many of us are thinking on how to work on these hybrid models, on all that comes with the digitalization. So we need to think on which can be the good practices of cities and regions on these regards. And last but not least, the fourth topic that we want to propose is time in public service and digitalization. Okay, so the role of the public sector services now in this new era. So these will be the four topics. Please remember them, because later we will ask for your opinion on in which one do you think that we will need to work for next year. You can select two of them, right, Sonia? Two? Yeah, two of them. Very good. So what else we did last year? Last year, and Sonia will explain it very good, but we created the concept of the World Capital of Time Policies. The objective of this capitality, which every year a city can apply or a region can apply to be capital of time policies, is that generates citizen awareness. We don't want the debates to be only on these rooms, only for the members. We want to generate citizens' awareness to be part of this time revolution. But also there are two other objectives. Promote the visibility and the sustainability of the network, so explaining that there is this network and promoting, and to consolidate and make innovation on policies that you can develop at your local level. So these are the three objectives. And last year we launched this call for cities to apply, and we awarded Barcelona as the first capital of time policies. Later today, Sonia will explain a bit more on what you are doing on that. Today also, we have received a new proposal for being the capital of 2023, and we will express that. Very good. I'm almost arriving to the end, but I wanted to explain a couple of objectives more that we proposed last year. The second objective is to keep promoting the right to time. As you know, this is our main objective, and to do that, we put in place the Capital of Times, but also we start collaborating with other international members, United Nations, Eurocities, CIDEO, Latin American cities, and other stakeholders that work at this level. As we said, we need to be many of us to promote the right. So we are very happy to start these collaborations. Two objectives looking more to the network. The others were externals, but if we look at the network, we had two main objectives. Foster the collaboration, and that's why the board has quarterly meetings, and we do one General Assembly virtually and one General Assembly online, 2 per year, where members can participate. But also we did, as the first time, the Latin American Week of Time and Schedules in Latin America, la Semana de los Horarios y el Tiempo en Latinoamérica. Y aquí también veo los colegas de
And I see our colleagues from Argentina who attended the event.
Diana talking a bit on what was this event with other cities. And as I explained, we had new members joining to the network, and today we will have them here explaining why they wanted to join. We know that there are people listening today that is planning to be part of the network, so we hope that we can have you here next year with us explaining why you have joined to the network. And the last objective, and very important as well for a network that is new as our network, that is the sustainability. No, when you create a project, it's important that it is sustainable in time. And that's why we are looking for funds to make this network more sustainable. But we are very happy to announce that we were awarded with an European project that will be giving sustainability on the network for 2023 and 24 for the next 2 years, organizing face-to-face activities, paying for the trips that are necessary, and we know that many of you wanted to be here, but it's not possible today. So we will have much more facilities to organize these events. Thank you, everybody that was collaborating also in this proposal, because it was not easy, and we got a very nice score, I think, because of the work of all of you. So I will ask for a clap of all the people that was participating. And last but not least, I think that all of you want to do what we will be doing next year. No, it's good to know what we have done this year, but what we want to do next year. We will keep working on the objective because, as I said, these objectives were for 2022 and 2023. But we have a clear calendar of activities. The first activities that you can see on the screen, there will be the dynamization of the network, as is normal, but I will move to the second row. The second row is the capital of time. The capital of time 2022-2023, which is Barcelona, will finish by the end of March. And so we'll give the capitality to the new city or region that will propose. I cannot say many more. It will be explained later. Okay. Then we are planning to do a publication of good practices on the topic 2 on mobility. Today we will have a first debate, but the publication will be as well in April 2023. And then we will be working on the topics that we will choose today, the topic 3 and the topic 4. Okay, you will decide which are these topics. What else? 2 other important things. We are planning to do another regional Latin American event next year, given the success of this one. So this probably will be between July, September next year. And as we said, we won this European project for fostering the collaboration, and the kickoff of this event probably will be between February and March 2023. The General Assembly of the network, again, will be in October, November 2023. Here is the calendar. You know that we like very clear to have a clear roadmap on where we are going. And again, you can see if they are on-site or online events. So we will be very happy to see you, all of you, participating in these works and in these events. And now, yes, to finalize the speech, I just wanted to say what we need from you that magically it didn't here. It showed on the screen. What we need from all of you colleagues is to implement time policies. We know that many of you are implementing time policies, but some of you are not calling them time policies, no? Because it's a new terminology. So when you do time policies, when you do policies thinking on the time of the people, how to do a better balance between the time, please call them time policies and share with us. We will be very happy to share it in the news in the website. Also, please participate in the events of the network and spread the word. We know that this is a new topic, but we think that the right to time will be the right of the 21st century. So we need all of you to make that true. And basically, colleagues, this is all that we wanted to say. We will add additional objective for 2023, that is to foster the collaboration in regions beyond Europe, especially regions of Europe and cities on Latin American countries. This will be our objective for 2023. And also, we will collaborate with other international stakeholders to promote the right to time. This will be our focus as well on 2023. That's all for now. Now I'm going to give the floor to Sonia Ruiz, who is director at the Barcelona City Council, and she will explain us more about the Capital of Time 2022. You were the first one, Sonia.
Yes.
So let us know the experience and what you have done.
Perfect.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. We might give you an applause.
Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you very much, Marta, and to all this General Assembly to give us the opportunity to share with you what we are planning as the World Capital of Time policies, the first World Capital of Time policies. And yeah, we are working on it. I'm going to switch to Spanish. The PowerPoint presentation is in English, so I hope that everybody can follow. Ser la primera capital.
Since we are the first world capital of time policies, we feel the responsibility that comes with that. And we are very happy to be able to share with all of you what we are planning and implementing. We still have some time until March, as Marta said, so any suggestion or remark will be very welcome from you. And we, as you said, Marta, Barcelona was selected as the first world capital of time use policies, and that's a role that was devised in this network of local and regional governments for time policies to be able to become the speakers of these good time organization and structuring. And to us, it's been the opportunity to raise awareness, to give visibility, not only among our citizens and in all the international events in which we have taken part, but also to be able to share these policies with other cities. So we plan to expand those benefits and disseminate those benefits of a better and healthier time organization so that we can all lead a more sustainable life. As the councillor said in the welcoming session this morning, Barcelona has a long-standing history of time policies. In 2003, we created the first time use policies unit in Spain, one of the first ones in Europe. Well, it's been up and running for 16 years already, and we have ex-NUST network that offers mentoring. It's an exchange network. 120 businesses of the metropolitan area take part in that network, and that was brought about in 2006. And in 2008, as the City Council, we promoted the first network of local government, European local governments for time use policies. Let me see if that works. Here we are. And shortly after, in 2014, so it's been up and running for some time already, we reached a big agreement as a city on our time agreement. And we have as stakeholders not only the businesses that belong to the ex-NUST network, but also organizations and groups that are key in our city and are committed with the promotion of a better time use. As the City Council, we have developed over 70 actions in the 7 strategic work streams of this time agreement: care work, health, education, employment, participation. And recently, this year, we included a new work stream, which is the sustainable city. And we will share about that later with you. And as Laura Perez said in her speech, well, Barcelona has a long-standing history of time use policies, and in recent years, we have clearly focused on time use and care work. So not only we spend our time working, but also care work and political and social engagement. These are key pillars in our lives. And the City Council has different key and flagship programs like the Concilia one or the Super Block of Care. It has to do with proximity, community closeness. We have tried to include the time dimension in all those policies. And we have the most valued projects and services of our City Council, Time for Yourself, which is a rest proposal for families. And when I say families, I mean mothers who have children with disabilities. This is one of the most needed services. Barcelona takes care, many other programs. But not only we are focusing on care work, I try, but the remote doesn't seem to work. You have to point upwards. Now it works. Okay. So public procurement in terms of an institutional change and how we decided to include the time dimension in everything we did. Also in public procurement. For some years now, we have a work-life balance clause included in many of our public contracts in public procurement so that we can promote the time dimension. And this year we have included a new procurement clause to reduce female partial time work. And then open playgrounds. That was an idea that came up some time ago, and many city councils have asked about it. And this was thought out by the time use unit. So 79 interventions and actions that we have implemented. When we said, okay, we are the world capital of time use policies, which are our goals? Well, we came up with 4. The first one, to raise awareness among citizens. Second, promotion of the visibility and sustainability of our network. And therefore, we are ambassadors and we try to do our best in such capacity to try and promote the network and increase and expand the membership. We also support international events like the Time Use Week and the different actions that are included in the Barcelona Declaration that was issued last year. And then internal promotion activities to promote our actions and measures among the Barcelona City Council, which are the institutional activities that we have carried out as the World Capital of Time policies since last March. Well, firstly, we officially presented ourselves as a capital, as a world capital, at the beginning of April in the City Council. And since that moment, we have been organizing several events. We've taken part in several activities at the beginning of June, for example, together with the Spanish celebration of municipalities and provinces, and also with the Association of Municipalities in Catalonia. These are umbrella organizations for municipalities. We organized the first online event, well, it had to be online, of time use policies in Spain. We wanted to start disseminating the word of time, experiences, challenges, opportunities, and that was an exchange and meeting space that was extremely beneficial with Bilbao, Besaí, Sant Boi de Llobregat, Vilanova i la Geltrú, and many other municipalities that joined the event, and they were interested in checking what we were implementing. And then the first Latin American week of time uses, and we will hear more about it in a second. And last week we had our annual meeting on the time agreement. It was a very fruitful event. Even it was fun, actually. And we're working on the video, and we're taking part in the Time Use Week also, and the fact that we are hosted here at Barcelona Activa, which is our employment promotion agency. And we are also carrying out research and dissemination of the different aspects of time use policies. Later today, we will hear from our paper 17, Time Dossier 17. That includes a reflection about time and sustainability, and hopefully these will be food for thought for later discussions. I think it's for the first quarter of next year, we have planned a new publication on time poverty, and we will try to focus to the best of our ability on Barcelona. We are finishing off that publication. We host today's General Assembly with pleasure, and we are working on the handover ceremony that will take place in March. We have relaunched a new website. It's been, since the beginning of this month, it's now available in Spanish, Catalan, and English, including an updated version of the time lab of all the interventions and measures that we have adopted. We are working very hard to be up to speed with all the measures that are being implemented by these 235 businesses of the city that take part in the dissemination of the benefits and advantages of a proper time use. And not only we do online dissemination, but also offline dissemination. We have flags around the city. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to see them. From October the 1st to the 30th, we have been promoting the Time Use Week, and you see that the slogan that we chose, the value of your time, which is the slogan that we came up with as the world capital. I'm sure that you have your tote bags with you, and we wanted to reach out to citizens. So we have issued a huge campaign with these postcards that mention that we can all work together to achieve a more sustainable, egalitarian, and efficient time use. And this has been delivered to all our city sports clubs and for the use and enjoyment of our citizens. Now, online dissemination too, together with our colleagues in charge of social media on the website of the City Council. And finally, we are working very hard, and happily so, to try and reach out to people with these activities, because this is what matters the most, and these are activities that we are developing for citizens. We are about to start a project that we are enthusiastic about, and this is a collaboration with the Childhood Promotion Department and the districts, which are our territorial units, and other city institutions, for example, libraries, children daycare centers, so that we can all organize an activity with the children of Barcelona, for them to get to know for us to get to know what time means for them. And we will, of course, record a series of videos to work with them. We want to know what they do in their free time, and not only with children, but we are also working directly with our colleagues at the health department to organize a series of talks, hybrid, online or face-to-face talks, and we want to gather the different health recommendations of each district, and we will organize a series of conferences on time and sleep. Very important when it comes to health. And finally, we have worked together with our colleagues at the Sports Institute of the City Council, and we did a bit of a brainstorming with them to see how we could achieve a better time use in sports. And one of the best things that we could organize was an opening session for PE teachers to discuss, well, for example, after-school activities, time use, and sports, which is very important for children's health. And basically to disseminate all of these aspects as much as possible. I think I'll leave it at that, and I'll be happy to respond to your questions because we need to work together. Can you hear me? Thank you. Lovely. Well, let's give a big clap to Barcelona and to Sonia for this explanation. Sonia said, well, we're trying to become ambassadors of the network, and I believe that, well, you take the biscuit, really. You can be totally acknowledged and recognized because you really organized plenty of activities for citizens, and you have worked very hard to raise awareness among other municipalities about this world capital. And let me now hand it over to Diana Parra. Diana Parra will be talking about the event that Sonia mentioned. It's the meeting that we organized with Natalia Fidel, who is in the audience today, and with Fidel. What are you doing, Latin American cities, in terms of time use policies? Diana, over to you.
Primero que todo, agradecerles la invitación que nos hacen.
Thank you, invitation, especially when it comes to innovating in time use policies. That's very important in Latin America. This reflection is reaching Latin America, and it's the fact that we're part and parcel of this network means that not only are we introduced in the conversation, but we're beginning to be active players. Let me commence by thanking Sonia Ruiz, who got in touch with us with the initiative, the time use initiative. And it's thanks to her that we are here. And this is important to say that. You told us that, and Bogota started being part of the network, and we formed part of the first, if you like, common time use reflection in Latin America. And yesterday we were talking about that, not just what happened at a European level with time, with organization of social services, with the way people distribute their time, but we're looking at the different factors in Latin America have a bearing on distribution use of time. And in Latin America, things are not as organized here. Why? Because the different factors which come to play, socioeconomic inequalities are always present there. There's a finding, if you like, a financial resource is much different than in Europe, and it also has to do with service provision, and there is a lack of existence of public care systems, and Bogota is trying to innovate a lot in that respect, right, with our system of cares. And let us say that, and I think that this lack of understanding of the right to time or the right to do nothing, which is also a right, hasn't yet reached Latin America with such strength. And in the first week, we started to look at all that and started to put time and the right to time on the agenda, on the political agenda, not just of local governments, but also national governments, and also increased awareness among citizens. Not much is said about it, though constantly in conversations where we say, I have no time, I'm so busy, I'm rushed off my feet, whatever. But it's not part of the public agenda yet. This kind of initiative of networks within Latin America do allow two matters. First of all, the reflection, and then also to learn and to take up the good practices, learn from them, adapt them, and implement them, and at a territorial level, and with a far more, with a more Latin American bias, if you like, for obvious reasons. In Bogota, we participate in the conference held from the 19th to the 22nd, looking at the systems of cares which we have. And we are a time bank, effectively, for to benefit women who are carrying out non-remunerated care work. Why is this interesting? Because we put the focus on matters which should not be visible. People who were providing social care services in a hidden fashion, and because we understand that gender should have a feminist or gender perspective, otherwise not much is going to happen. We are moving different ways in cities. The sexual division of labor is definitely there, and it generates practices and forms of time organization which are different between men and women. And if there is time poverty, at least in Bogota, we are attempting to become aware of that, and to issue participation in the initiatives. And we want to respond with actions from the municipal administration in Bogota. It is important to say that, because to do it in a city like Bogota, at least in a country like Colombia, means that trickles down to the rest of the country, and it resonates in the country. This will, the Bogota experience can also will have a knock-on effect in the rest of the territories and cities of Colombia, and hopefully there will be more women with more time, and that doesn't always happen elsewhere.
Pues creo que
Well, sorry, I was at 3 minutes. You finished? Great. Is it 3 minutes? No, 3 minutes. Thank you. Excellent time organization, and congratulations. Thanks ever so much for having joined the network in such an energetic fashion, and in such a courageous fashion. And hopefully Bogota will be an excellent ambassador of the network in the next few years, together with other cities who we shall present. Now,
English. Yes, okay. And I'm going to introduce now Marina Lafay, who is the counselor of Strasbourg, and she is managing the time office of Strasbourg. So welcome, Marina, and you will talk us a bit about your vision, the vision of the city on sustainability and time. There is a topic that you are also working with the Association Tempo Territoriale.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank you, all of you, for your invitation, and especially the city of Barcelona. You said temple of time, capital of time. It's very impressive. You have done a lot of things. And so thank you for that. And thank you for the network and you, Marta. I would like to say that this network is very friendly. We talk a lot of questions. We have a lot of emails. And so Marta, Ariana, and Mark. So it's very nice to work together. It's an honor also for Strasbourg to be on the board of this network. And I will speak for Strasbourg City, but also for Tempo Territorial, because I'm also on the executive board for this network. And Tempo Territorial coordinate all the action for the city in France who have an interest of time policies in general. I would like yet now to share with you a few words about from my experience in Strasbourg and Tempo Territorial. Just to say perhaps that don't forget any project linked with innovation or conduct of change to implementing time policies is always a big challenge. And that's why also the network is very important for us. It's help us, it's challenging us, it's you support us too. And that is important to have a sustainable action also. We spoke a lot about genders and question of equalities here yesterday and last year too. And so in Strasbourg, we are also invested to pursue this gender equality also. And so we know that this question is very important and central. In Milano in the 70s, it's the origin of time policies. But we said yesterday and today, unfortunately, most of the issue remains relevant today. But last year, I spoke here, not in this room, but in Barcelona, about the climate change and the ecological issue. And I want to develop that today also. The question of ecological imbalance in general, because with advancements of science, we know for sure that it's very relevant and urgent to approach this issue today to avoid the renewals effects. We don't obey human temporalities, but the law of physics also. And so, in this context of war of Ukraine, exposing to the dependence of the economic system on fossil energy, the UN nation climate experts, they explain and have recently published a report in which it's proved that our humanity has only 3 years to act, to react, to preserve a livable world. So I think I would like to insist about that we have to think more about this question. We have to act together now, to react, to find some solution together, to share some good practices. But today, it's also in the declaration of the Barcelona for time that we have signed together last year. We have specific matters on this topic. On the first paragraph, I think, it's written, nothing that the organization of time can positively affect sustainability and decrease our collective carbon footprint. And I don't develop it, but it's written on the first paragraph. So I think that we need to go further about this climate change and ecological problem here in the network. It's completely linked with the time policies, and we need to act quickly, to slow down. For instance, it's urgent to slow down. So perhaps yes, we can think also that the acceleration of the world accelerates the process of degradation of the planet, which has no longer the capacity to observe the consequences of our way of life today. What is being questioned, and we spoke about that yesterday also, is the capitalist system, and that reaches its limit today. And it's also what we might call the Amazon system. In France, we said that sometimes, Amazon system. And the desire to have more and to consume faster, to waste more. So in the contrary, personally and in Strasbourg, so also we are convinced that it's very urgent to slow down, and it's I think an opportunity for the climate change, but also an opportunity for the individual rights and a question of inequalities. Because when we break up the pattern of the imbalance in general, and when we break up the domination, the mankind's domination over nature, we break up also the male domination and the gender inequalities, I think. So we think about balance in general in our life. So that's why there is sometimes some scientists who develop a link between care for the nature and also care for the planet. And there is a link between ecofeminism and the ecology in general. So at the end of the day, the question is perhaps to avoid the exploitation of resources, exploitation of bodies, of time, of gender in particular, of women, and of population around the world. That's why it's very interesting for us to open the network with South America, and perhaps as French, I can help, and the network we have can help to open in direction of Africa. That is very interesting, I think, to share some very good practices. So for that, I would like to insist that Strasbourg is very interested and also determined to help us for that. And I said also it's time to think of time. It's time to slow down. We are certainly all here convinced of that, but in the same time, I think we have to increase our efforts together. Because we have some crises, energy crisis, war, and so we must keep a lot of vigilance. I would like to say a sentence from the French and feminist philosopher Simone de Beauvoir, who has said about the feminism questions. Let's never forget that a political and economical or religious crisis will be enough to cast doubt on women's rights. That's true, and I think it's the same for time, and that's also a good reason for us to say that we need to strengthen the network, to open the network, and to be strong together. Also to increase this question. So I want to contribute with Strasbourg for that goal, and I would like to thank you for your attention, Marta.
Thank you, Marina. Thank you for this expression of of making the network strong, and for this reflection on a topic that is very, very relevant. And yesterday, Diego, that was here, was saying our aliados, our allies are need to be young people, and are already young people, because are the ones, putting the topics of climate emergency in the agenda, but also saying that they don't want this accelerate society that you were saying, that does not have enough balance between life and work and sustainability of life. So thank you, Marina, for this determination. Thank you, Joanna. Thank you, Jennifer, as well, for the work that you are doing from Strasbourg and with Tempo Territoriale. And now I will pass the word to Angelo, that I think that you have something to announce to the Assembly.
Yes.
So, buongiorno.
Buongiorno. Thank you, Marta.
Thank you, Angelo.
Can I go to the
Welcome.
podium?
You can go to the podium. Angelo is the councillor of Bolzano, an Italian city, and will announce something to us.
Thank you. I speak with ease, yes? I have 1 hour. I can speak for 1 hour. No, only 2 minutes. Buenos días a todos. Good morning to you all. Dear Marta, dear colleagues, I am honored to participate for the second time in this international event. These days represent an important moment of discussion and exchange with all of you. It has only been a year since the network was officially relaunched, but it is growing thanks to the new members and thanks to these year meetings that have allowed us to learn more about the actions that are taking place in different countries in Europe and beyond. The impetus for change has become stronger and stronger, not only because of the dramatic events that have affected us, albeit indirectly, but because the pace of change has increased. At this particular moment in history, we believe that time policies have great opportunities. First, the old paradigms are being questioned. Two, the digital transition presents us with a new challenge that we have to face in order to avoid the digital divide. And three, finally, the ecological transition directs us towards a new idea of economy. Although time policies have 20-year history, they are still highly topical with a great potential for development and dissemination while still bringing strong element of innovation. A co-participation of multiple sectors is fundamental. It is no longer possible to make policy by distinguish individual intervention in different sectors, such as mobility, work, culture, school, and so on. We have to bring back to the center the concept of quality of life, not only for the individual, but for the entire community. This is possible with the affirmation of value, first and foremost, time, or rather, the right to time. This is why Bolzano wants to be the time capital of next year. We want to bring attention back to the topic of the inhabited city. The city has a space in which the individual and collective time takes place and in which people find a dimension that corresponds to their needs for sociality, work, and culture. Indeed, we want to affirm the importance of urban space and as a privileged place for collective living. For us, being the time capital means this: putting season back at the center with their needs and desire as the protagonist of change. The event that we are planning for next year brings back the method of temporal politics to which we were introduced many years ago by Mrs. Sandra Bonfiglioli, a great expert in this field and our guide. She is the one who taught us what a city times and time politics are. These are events in which the academic part merges with moments of confrontation and practical learning, where participation is the primary tool for achieving the goals we set ourselves. Yes. The question we have to ask are the following: where are the time policies in Europe? What are the interventions to be implemented in the coming years? Who are the protagonists of change? These are ambitious goals worthy of time capital that we believe we can proudly represent. Many thanks for your attention and long, long life to our networks. Thanks, Marta, and goodbye and good job to all of us.
Thank you, Angelo, for this announcement. So we already have one candidature for being the capital of time of 2023-2024. The process still is open, so if there are other cities that want to present the candidature, it will be open until November. But I think that it's very good that an Italian city, as you were saying, you were remembering, no, the women of the 80s and Sandra Buffonione, can also connect and bring here their vision to what were the time policies in the 80s and our vision for the future with all the citizens. Now, colleagues, I will ask you to stay here because we will open the floor for questions. Those people that is participating online can write their questions, their comments on the chat, but we will first open the floor for the people that is here in the room. If you want to make any comment on what we have been commenting, and especially remember that we did this question: which of the 4 topics you would like the network to talk about in 2023. So those that wish to talk, I will ask you to raise the hand, and if there is any question in the public, it will come to us. Very good. So, Jennifer, good morning. You can present yourself.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Marta, and thank you for all the presentation, which were very, very interesting. So my name is Boulin, Jean-Yves Boulin. I am a researcher, sociologist, and I could say one of the
fathers.
No, not fathers, but who has participated with Ulrich Mückenberger and Sandra Bonfiglioli to the diffusion of time policies in Europe. And I am very happy that Bolzano will be the next world capital, time capital city, because I remember that my first, probably one of the first trip in Italy to understand what were the time policies was in Bolzano. And I remember the role of Inge Bauer Polo, who was at the head of this department. And this is thinking about that and about the first experiences in Bolzano that I think that for me there are two topics for next year, which are very relevant. It is the first, participation, particularly because particularly in Bolzano there has been a lot of processes of participation of citizen, implementation of unions, of employers association on different projects. I remember very well that. And I think that we need now to involve more directly citizens in the design of time policies. Italy has been at a precursor really in this area with the time of collaboration design with the table quadrangulaire with municipality, employers, unions, and citizens. And I think that we need now to think more deeply about how to renew, to dynamize the process of implementation of citizens. And I think about that because we see that there are more and more reluctance from the citizens toward the policies, politics, and so on. So we need to reflect on that. And particularly, we could also look at the Latin American experiences on that issue. And the second issue I would like to see for the next year is also the organization of time, working time, duration, and working and a reorganization of working time, because it is at the agenda, on the agenda of different cities in countries in Europe at this time. And for instance, 4 days working week and so on. And I am a bit cautious about that, but we have to discuss that as what could be the role of local and regional authorities in this area. So this is why I think, for me, that it's a discussion. If you ask for our opinion on that, so this and we have also with Joanna asked to our colleagues yesterday of Tempo Territorial. They agree also with these two. They agree with these two issues. But I want to thank you for all the presentations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Genevieve. So we take that into consideration. I see two hands raised, free. Let's start with Natalia, maybe, and then we will follow with Noemi. Natalia, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much for your expositions. Congratulations, Barcelona, for being the capital. They were all very interesting. And I wanted to ask a question to all of you, but I'm going to have the same choice as he did. I'm going to choose also the time for participation and democracy, because I will think it would be very interesting to co-create or have a process of co-creation of policies, time policies with citizens. And I think that the organization of working time is actually a present topic that is actually being discussed. So we have to, I think that is very interesting, and it is in the agenda now. So we have to think for the next capital of time policies if we want to talk about something that it is in the agenda, or we want to put another topic. So maybe I will also, I will keep with the organization of work but yesterday we had a very interesting talk about the night dimension of time, and I think it's very interesting to see the impact in health. But I was going to get one. You, Diana, talked about the Banco de Tiempo as a philosophical term, but I wanted to ask all of you if you know any concrete experience of a bank of time, but to use it in actual terms of a bank of time. I'm thinking of Latin American countries where retirement funds are very bad, are very little, where if you have in Europe any case of bank of time where you can put in time when you are active and then use it and use it, give it to other generations, but use it when you are on retirement age and you don't have no one to look after you. And is there any European experience of an actual bank of time? Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Natalia. Noemi? Please, if you can, it was Natalia talking from Buenos Aires. Now it's Noemi talking from Bolzano. If you can present yourself when you are speaking, I already did.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
So, hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Noemi from Bolzano. And first of all, I would like to thank you, Marta, for having us, me and Angelo, here today, representing the City Council of Bolzano. As Genevieve has introduced a little bit, participation is a really important topic for us, for the city of Bolzano. So we agree with him. It can be a really interesting topic for next year agenda. And so, as briefly explained by Angelo before, we have a little bit an idea of what we want to do next year. And we have also thought about speaking and explaining a little bit more about working times and what are the issues now in Italy, but not just there, but in all the other countries. So it would be great if we can speak about these two topics. And also digitalization is an important topic. So it is really difficult to decide between all of them.
Okay, let's get more input. Thank you, Noemi, Silvia, and Sabina that are following us online from Bolzano. Thank you as well for all your work that you are doing from the Time Office.
Hello, everyone. I would like to...
Can you present yourself, please?
Yes. My name is Nicole Fayella, and I also am studying in Bolzano, in the University of Bolzano, a master in eco-social design, also with Elisa. And I would like to raise a new topic, because I think what Marina was saying is very important, and I think it's not been mentioned so much, and it's the care for nature. And I wanted to ask also, like, what kind of activities or initiatives have you done considering more than humans? And I think all the topics suggested are very based still in a human perspective or in a human approach. And there, it was also mentioned, I think, Marta, you mentioned that, okay, let me see my notes. The right to time will be the right of the 21st century, and it's a time revolution, something you're thinking about. So I am pleading as a new generation to not considering these human benefits of time, but also others, like otherness approach to time. And I think that would really be something revolutionary. This, thank you.
Thank you very much. So we take note of that as well. Very, very good paradigm. Very good.
Hello. Hi.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Gemma from Diputació Barcelona. Okay, better. If I can speak in Spanish, it's better for me. It's easier for me.
Yeah, let's.
Yes. Sí, puedo hablar en castellano. Si no es igual.
Vamos a hablar.
I'd like to highlight my interest in public services. I think that the Ayorrero yesterday shared a very interesting reflection that people with less resources need much more time to meet their basic needs, which are going to public services, and they have to go through long and complicated processes to get benefits. And for example, today we have services of sustainability that we're being asked for. And this has to do with digitization too, but we need to offer them that time from the public services and the administration. So I just wanted to highlight that. Maybe I was too fast for the interpreters.
For this proposal of digitalization and not as the only solution for people that live in a small rural areas, no? So it's a very interesting reflection that yesterday we were doing. Diego?
I am Diego from Argentina, and let me champion the night, because I think it has a very rare quality of integrating a lot of areas, which the other topics are, of course, extremely important, but the night covers all of them, actually, because talking about the nocturnal dimension of time, we will talk about safety, about mobility, about nature, because light contamination, light pollution is messing up with insects, with birds, and with life in general, with homeless people, with things that happen in hospitals and health-related issues. And the other reason why I really love I'd love to have a night as a topic is that it hasn't received a lot of attention in terms of time policies and of the academic studies of time. So even if it's for 2023 or later, I think that the nocturnal domain of time has to be a topic for this network.
Thank you. Clear argumentation for choosing the night topic. I see Emily.
Hi, so I'm Emily from Belgium. I would like to talk about the night dimension of time too, because I work for an association that works against any discrimination women can face, and night dimension of time implies the safety of women too, because I don't know in every country, but I know that in a lot of countries, a lot of women has a problem with night and safety, and I think it's important to highlight it. And as a second choice, the participation is also very important, because we are nothing without the citizens. So yes, that would be our choices too.
Thank you very much, Emily. I see a couple of hands more.
Thank you for a very interesting event. Well, a lot of the persons sitting in the chair are known. There was a question about time banks. I would like to take an advantage to tell you that time is the wrapping of all life. I think it's very essential. We had the great chance of having Sonia Ruiz in March speak precisely on time, emotions, and life, right, Sonia? It was one of the activities we organized from the Sitges Time Bank. Very curiously, we are involved in the Asociación Iberoamericana de Bancos del Tiempo. I'm a member of the council, and we have already started twinning with Ecuador, and now we're going for Colombia, which makes precisely this more international. The last week on Latin America was very interesting. Time banks started in Italy, and it was women who started it. I was then a consultant for the European Commission in the 80s. Very curiously, we were trying, we still had the echo. And they vetoed us because we wanted time to be a social currency. This is history. This is history. And this activity of time use is precisely a revolution against the system, the establishment, where Europe is failing, miserably failing the citizens. It is very interesting to change precisely all these things. And I would suggest that we work on participation, because without citizen participation, we do not go anywhere. There is one point I would like the members of the panel to answer. Have we thought about the different notions of time in Europe and in the world? Latin America has not the same notion of time as us when we're talking about the night, for example. In Europe, we live late at night in Spain, but that is not so in Finland, for example. So let's talk about the different cultures, and let's talk about the different generations, because an old lady will not think as an adult lady, but maybe will think the same as the granddaughter. Please bear this in mind. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fernando. And we will get the last intervention from the room.
Hello, my name is Gonzalo Ibarraguirre. I am from Argentina. I'm an anthropologist, and I will follow the words of the colleague here, because my point is that we must add to the study and the policy of time the dimension of temporality, the different notions of time that we have in the world. Mostly in Latin America, we know that we have a lot of indigenous communities, indigenous people. In Argentina, in Colombia, in all the countries we have indigenous people, and different notions inside hegemonic temporality also. As I saw here in Europe, we have different countries, different cultures, different living people that have different notions of time. So I think that it's a challenge to add in our agenda the study of the different notions of time, and also how these notions impacts in different policies. So this is my contribution, and I support your position, because we must be aware that culture is inside and it's among all of these topics. So we must be aware of the temporality dimension. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Colleagues, I know that from the online side, we also have several questions. They are informing me that the topic as well that is getting more consensus is time and participation online. But given that we are a bit late on time and we at the time organization, I will tell to the colleagues online that we will discuss later the questions with the speakers, and probably in our summaries that we will be elaborating in the coming days, the answers will be there. But now, colleagues that are here in the stage, I would like to give you 1 minute to choose 1 or 2 questions and answers. 1 minute, because we want to give the welcome to the new members. Okay, and later remember that we have the break time where we will be all able to discuss together. So let's start maybe with the following the intervention order. I will give the floor to Sonia.
Thank you very much, Marta. So to be very quickly and to answer Natalia, in Barcelona we have many, especially grassroots organizations that are organizing or the just banks of time. What I cannot tell you if they are working with this retirement perspective, but we have plenty of them. We can afterwards. I can show you because I think that we even can find a map in case you're interested and try to contact them and see. We also have awards from the public awards from our municipality that go if they ask for funds. We fund this type of initiatives. So we have plenty. I don't know if with this return perspective, but we can check because it's also very interesting. As I have the floor, I will quickly vote also for participation and democracy, as we also proposed yesterday. And my heart is divided between the ninth dimension of time, which I think is very, very important, and the digitalization of public services, which I think that has a lot of potential in order to overcome all sorts of inequalities that we are experiencing today. So I will leave it there. And just to answer Fernando, or to comment on what Fernando was saying, extremely important to talk about the dimension and the concept, the different concepts of times, and also try to, as here in this network, we want, Marta was pointing out that too, that we want to, it's very important to think philosophically and to have a theoretically based, well-based framework. But the practice, our public policy practice, has to be always related. So the concept of time and how to make it better through public policies should be also an aim of this network.
Thank you very much, Diana. Okay.
In Spanish.
No, yo.
I was thinking about a time bank. In Latin America, states have to contribute to offer time to those people who need it so that those people may have time, and provide women with time allows them to be trained and educated so that they are not constrained to care work and to have an income and to be politically active, which is the main problem faced by most women in Latin America. It's a global problem, but in Latin America, with the big social and economic decisions that we take, well, we need that. And that's where this notion of time bank, it's not a transaction as such. It's not a bank as we know it, but it's about organizing my services so that in that organization I can, for example, take care of the people she is in charge and free up some time for her so that she has free time for herself, for education, rest, income generation, or be politically active. And that's when this notion of time bank is meaningful. So just taking the notion, and we know that banks are not very loved in current times, but I believe the state has to become a time provider, a true and actual time provider, because unless the state does that, nobody else will. There is no redistribution of time, and this patriarchal macho society and culture that we have in Latin America that is well rooted both in men and women does not allow for a time redistribution in homes. So while we wait for the cultural transformation, well, the state has to take action and reorganize times. Thank you very much, Diana. Marina?
Sorry. For the question about Bank of Time, I would like to say that in Strasbourg, but I think in France, so we are not very familiar with this question, but we are very interested to be inspired of that. For instance, in Strasbourg, we had a big capital for Christmas period. We have an old market, but the people in Strasbourg, they ask us to change this market because it was so commercial to business and so they ask us to think about something else. And so we had a student last year was work about that and about bank of time, perhaps to find some inspiration where services can be present that people can offer during this period, this special period between November and the end of December. That perhaps we would like to develop something in this period linked to the bank of time. So I'm interested, but yes, if you have any ideas. And so in Strasbourg also we have a focus now on the question of night, because we have to reduce the light because economical and ecological aspects, but also we consider the question of women's security and empowerment of women during the night. They have to keep the liberty to circulate, for instance, during the night. They work during the night. And so there is a lot of to share about that. And for the question of the conception of time, I would like to say that it is very interesting to think about that in link with the question of the democracy. For instance, I'm also responsible of the action in the part of Strasbourg, and I met oftenly I meet some people, and when young people or teenagers said to me, Madame Lafay, it's very urgent to act. We wait this action. When some young people said it's urgent, we wait. That is 6 months, perhaps one year, but not more. But and old people, you can say yes, we have to think, to work together. 2 years, it's perhaps acceptable, but not for the young people. No, that's also interesting to work about that.
Thank you very much, Marina. And to finalize, Angelo?
1 second only. I wait all in Bolzano to discover la nostra, our Banca del Tempo. We have a bank of time, very good, but you discover in Bolzano. And I think it's good to participate to construction together the program for the next capital of the year.
That's a very good idea. So we will give this opportunity. Thank you very much. Now, colleagues, we will move to the last but not least important part of the General Assembly, that is the official welcome to the new members. We are very happy, and this shows that the network is growing and is generating interest to see that there are new members joining today. And the first person that I will call to explain us the reasons to join to the network is Natalia Fidel, who is who is part of the Legislative Chamber of Autonomous Cities of Buenos Aires, and they sang the welcoming right here. So welcome to the stage, Natalia.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning. I'm going to switch to Spanish, so if you want to put on the machine. Bueno, muchas gracias. Buenos días a todos.
Well, good morning. I shall join the expressions of thanks to this network for having the invitation, the Barcelona Time Use Initiative, to form part of Barcelona Time Use Week. It is a great honor, despite the fact that the circadian cycle is completely all over the shop, because it's about like 20 past 5 in the morning right now. I'm delighted to express, to speak on behalf of the city of Buenos Aires to be part of this, and we think it is great to form part of this network for 3 reasons. Number one, to talk to you about the experience of Buenos Aires in terms of time policies, be able to learn and put in common the discussion and debate in all what we have learned and lessons learned and mistakes encountered. So we will have many ideas to continue learning and actually putting into practice and implementing actions. And from a strategic point of view, the Barcelona Declaration made us widen the strategic view we had on time use policies, it made us look at multidimensional aspects. And looking at all of the second generation policies, I'll tell you what our approach was. You shall see that afterwards we have found this space of reflection which allows us to do that, to widen the scope, the strategic scope of time and the political dimension of time and the time as a citizen's right, and that allows us to contribute our experience. What you're going to see on the screen is what is the if you like, the trajectory of the city of Buenos Aires, and you can see that the autonomous city of Buenos Aires had carried out a time use survey going back into 2005. Diego Golombek was talking to you of the difficulties to define time use. We didn't go that far, but what we did was to quantify the use of the time in terms of the domestic non-remunerated work, which was a recurrent subject yesterday, time involved in study or training, time dedicated to work. And so we classified work split up to non-remunerated work devoted to care, remunerated work, study and training, and rest and leisure. Sergio Moreno's presentation was very interesting. It's just a question of quantifying use of time, but also generating a qualitative analysis stemming from this data. And what I like to put on the table of this network concerning this network of local governments for time, what the city of Buenos Aires did was to look at the survey as one element of the global household survey. We looked at the more recurrent matters, and then we saw that in the survey of the use of time, which is now part and parcel of the law, we looked at more cultural aspects. In 2016, there was a qualitative leap, and we evolved towards a specific time use survey, not as a mere module of the annual household survey, but no, its own standalone survey. And I think the value that we can contribute to this network is the methodology. What we look is to say, okay, when you ask someone in a household, what did you do yesterday in the 24 hours? How do you distribute your time? And there we decided to define time in terms of simple time and simultaneous time. So what we measured was not just how we distributed tasks throughout the day, but also how we distributed time simultaneously. But tell you that the result of this use of time in 2016 was that on average, in City of Buenos Aires, women dedicate 2 hours more to non-remunerated housework. But if we analyze that and break it down by class, women with lower incomes spend more than 6 hours per day to non-remunerated housework, which has to do with cleaning, looking after either children and dependent adults. If we look at that with women with more children and lower income, spend almost 8 hours more dedicated to non-remunerated housework. So in the pandemic, what we did was to generate a bill to ensure that this time use survey should be systematized, so that to move it away from the vagaries of political decisions, political cycles. So we wish to include that and also include non-remunerated work in terms of the GDP of the city. Non-remunerated work is 13.4% of the Buenos Aires GDP, if you like. So what it represents. So we need that to look at I say 13.4%, and that 13.4%, 70% is attributable to women. So in the pandemic, in Buenos Aires, we said, okay, this should be debated on the public agenda, and this law should be a state policy, should be given continuity, And we also will make available the text of this law to the network. So I know that you are looking at a possible policy in that respect for here, and that will be a 5-year rolling policy. And we increased the, if you like, the size of the sample. And to conclude, we adhere to the Barcelona Declaration. I have the physical signature. I'll hand it to Marta. And what we did was to open up the strategic dimension of time use policy, to be able to use them as an input, and we'll talk about that in the next panel, how this is an input to define other public policies, because what we are seeking is a more equitable redistribution of time to have societies which are healthier, more egalitarian, and more productive. But anyway, that's all. I'm going to hand over the example, the copy, or the signed copy of the declaration, signed by us. And we are delighted to have you, Natalia, and that you have been able to be with us today. Now I am going to talk with someone else who comes from Latin America, Gonzalo, you're going to say it? Gonzalo Iparaguirre, who's a close friend, and we have been cooperating in Latin American politics for a long time, concerning time. Welcome. Thank you very much.
Speak in Castellano. We are in Catalan.
Okay. Thanks ever so much for the invitation. I'm speaking Castilian. Iparraguirre is the name. Not easy to pronounce for Anglo-Saxon. It's quite amusing to listen to them trying to get their tongues around Iparraguirre and let alone the French. So all these rolling R's are quite a challenge. Anyway, thanks ever so much, Marta, for your kind words. My link with time use with TUWA last year, when I had the chance to follow the Congress online in Argentina, and realized that there was a whole network of time use policies and of administrations who were thinking of time use policies. As an anthropologist specialized in time, it was a real finding. And really there was a whole world which shared this concern for time, and let alone time use policies. Science and time together, for me, science and politics were a personal challenge for me. And the last years I have worked as a politician, as Secretary of State in the city of Tornquist, and I've been able to apply my scientific knowledge, my professional knowledge, and my knowledge of anthropology has been able to apply to politics. And I'd like to say that the same way that we have use of times and looking at the science, we can also think of future management. Not only thinking of time use, which has to do with a decision taken currently concerning our citizens, our cities and our territories and our landscapes, as some were saying. Now, our intervention on nature, the dimension of the future is something which is on the whole absent when we look at time use policy. Like studies of nighttime, as Diego said, there's an absence of the systematic study of the future. And I think that is key, where we have to work to consider the design of the future. And there's an experience in Argentina, in Tornquist, designing instruments for decision-making, strategic decision-making, instruments that allow us to rethink the way in which political decisions are taken. And this has been the basis for experiments, how to apply methodologies systematically to political decision-making, which is not, do not always have the impact one would like, but they are exercises which can share with other colleagues, other countries, and that's one of the reasons to be here, to get a comparative study, being what is being done in Europe today, in some of the cities. I've been in Bolzano, I've been in Strasbourg, I've also been in Brussels. If you like, finding out how, or examining and watching what is being done, studying the policies, and having, with a view to know how we can look towards the future and to ensure that time use policies is fertile ground to improve agenda design in terms of decision-making policy. Thank you very much. Welcome.
Muchas gracias, Gonzalo. Ahora seguimos.
Now we shall continue. I'm going to change the order, by the way. We shall continue with Joana Ortega, who's the secretary of the Catalan Association of Municipalities. Joana Ortega.
Joana.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to participate today in this meeting. Gracias. Quiero agradecer.
I want to thank Laura Perez, the councillor, but especially so Marta Junque and Sonia Ruiz, for their energy, strength, and leadership. All of them matter very much in current times. So I will speak in Catalan. Hopefully you'll be able to follow my words in through the simultaneous interpretation. It's been a real pleasure to listen to Bogota, Bolzano, Buenos Aires, and everyone who has taken part in this international event on the promotion and reflection and brainstorming about time use best practices. It's a very hands-on meeting, which is very important. I am here representing the Catalan Association of Municipalities. We represent 945 municipalities out of the 947 municipalities that we have in Catalonia, and we are fully committed with the promotion of time use policies, because municipalities are the main engine in the promotion of a new time use. We just heard from a representative from SIGIS talking about the relevance of municipalities. I want to share a couple of reflections with you. We should not only discuss this matter as public administrations, but we need to count on citizens' commitment to promote actions and for time use to be a familiar topic to everyone. And that's why we have mentioned participation so much today, because we are very aware that this does not only belong to the public administration, but public administrations, of course, will have to play a fundamental role in this process. It's about striking a balance between private time, family time, work time, care time, social time, and time to get bored. I always claim that we need time just to observe, look around, and just be idle. It's very important, as it is said in the Barcelona Declaration. So my second reflection would be that the challenge is based on the fact that time is used as a discrimination source, and of course, as always, it discriminates against women. And time use policies were promoted at the beginning by women because they were the most hard hit by the discrimination and the negative consequences, plus the social and demographic changes. And of course, we live in a society that focuses on the economic side of things and productivity, and you're only valuable if your time means paid work. It's a huge mistake, but unfortunately, it's the reality we live in. And someone The councillor from Bolzano, Angelo, mentioned that the municipality is where people's life takes place. So we are a true engine of transformation. So municipalities, just like any pillar, we can contribute and enable the right adaptation and a better time use. Let me wrap up with some contributions. We believe that awareness raising goes hand in hand with training, education. So it's very important to offer tools and train politicians, policymakers, for them to believe in time use policies. In December last year, we joined the commitment by the municipalities. We believe that transformations should take place everywhere, not only in big cities. Barcelona is a fantastic example, but in Catalonia, over 50% of municipalities have less than 1,000 inhabitants, and less than 77% have less than 500 inhabitants. So if we want to reach out to everyone, we need to focus on the small municipalities. So as the Catalan Association of Municipalities, we have drafted a series of recommendations for local governments for them to promote and raise awareness and disseminate their activities. Another important tool is the following. All city councils should have a time use department. We should, following in the steps of Barcelona, we should really start time banks everywhere. There are many municipalities with very healthy time banks. We should promote remote work and home office. And then the promotion to close down shops or public venues earlier. This is something that can be easily done in small municipalities, but it will matter for the future. So thank you very much for the know-how that you have shared with us. It's been a very fruitful event. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Joanna. Welcome to the network.
This role that we will see later with other associations, that they will bring other municipalities, the small municipalities that they don't have resources or capacities to join to a big network, they will be able to join with Associació Catalana de Municipis, Federació Catalana de Municipis, or other associations. I'm going to give the word now to Eleutheia Zigobara, that will join from Greece, from Trikala. Good morning, Alicia.
Good morning from Trikala, Greece. On behalf of the Municipality of Trikala, I want to thank you for this opportunity to be with you. It's a great pleasure to be with you today. The city of Trikala is a medium-sized city in the center of Greece, and is considered to be the best example of a smart digital city in the country. The city provides smart solutions on mobility, on digitalization, and also in general in sustainable development fields. Also, Trikala has a great experience and a strong plexus of social structures, and the last decade makes serious efforts to incorporate the gender perspective in the local policies following the national and the European strategy in gender equality. Time policy, the municipality of Trikala and Greece in general has not a great experience. It's not a familiar field of policy. So in Trikala too, There is no special department, a special directorate, or a dedicated structure, neither a local action plan for time policies, but certainly we have strong interest in learn about time policies and take advantage of good practices of other cities in this field. Despite the fact that there is not a specific department, action plan, or policy for use of time, there are municipal actions and services of other departments of the municipality, especially of the Department of Social Welfare, that contributed have important impact, especially in balance of work, care, and personal time, especially for women who are the main family caregivers. So the municipality maintains and operates childcare services free. There are 15 free municipal kindergartens for preschool seniors, infants, and babies. There are 5 municipal free after-school centers for creative activities for children from 6 to 12 years old. There are also elderly care free services in the municipality. 6 open centers from the elderly people and other daycare centers for elderly and disabled people. Through these municipal services, we promote the reconciliation of family and work life for the beneficiary women, and we support and facilitate the equal access in labor market and the maintenance of their job, especially from the women with low family from low family income. The municipality of Trikala has not an extended or a strong experience in time use policies, but has strong interest to learn and take advantage of all the good practices of the other cities. And for us, this network is a great opportunity and inspiring opportunity to be a part of this very great job that you already have done and will do in the future. So thank you so much for the invitation. And we hope that we have a really strong commitment in this field too. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eleutheia. It's a very good news to start with a new country. Greece didn't have any municipality or region within our network, so we are very happy to have you here. And as you said, many cities and regions can happen. They might have interest on time policies, but they have not implemented yet. This is not a reason not to join, because you can come here and learn and then to implement. Okay, so welcome everybody. And to talk especially on that, on this role of promoting time policies, I would like to call in the stage Jordi Saguer, who is the General Secretary of the Federation of Municipalities of Catalonia, who has recently joined to the network. Good afternoon almost, Jordi.
Bon dia a tots i a totes i gràcies per...
Good morning, thank you for the invitation. I shall be very brief, basically from the Federation of Municipalities of Catalonia. It is very important for us to be able to form part of this network of municipalities and regions for time use. Our commitment goes back a long time, which bears out that for us this is part of our thematic agenda, and clearly bears out our the importance we attach to time use policies to adapt lifestyles which favor living together, health and productivity. The municipality, if you before, we were talking of well, our body has more than 600 municipalities which form part of it. What have we done in the last few years? Let us go back to 2017, when the FEMC, our federation, supported the commitment for 2025 objective with a view to rationalize timetables and with the European standards. In 2020, we also renewed our commitment to continue implementing time use policies in the local sphere, and there was signed a new protocol to rationalize working timetables in Catalonia. Also breathing life into this network. As the ACM colleague said, we signed the Barcelona Charter to reinforce the role of municipalities with a view to promoting new time patterns, a commitment which for us is very much alive and relevant, and that is why I wish to continue forming part of the network. Now, when it comes to issues such as the ones you have been talking about, and which we're discussing throughout the whole week, above all looking at inequalities, looking at initiatives, which has been very enriching, listening to the experiences this morning from different areas, not just from Europe, but also throughout the world, and above all looking at policies to combat these inequalities and guaranteeing the right to time use. So therefore, we wish this network a long life, good morning, and thank you very much.
Benvingut a la xarxa.
Thank you, Jordi. Welcome to the network. Furthermore, the Catalan Federation of Municipalities is also working together with the Spanish Federation of Municipalities to attempt to reach out to more Spanish municipalities, as we had discussed from our role as capital. We have two more presentations.
Emily Haller, and she's project manager of Siners Valion from Belgium. Welcome, Emily.
Hi. So I'm going to speak in English. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. So my name is Emilie Allard, and I work for Synergie Wallonie, which translates as Wallonia Synergy for Equality Between Women and Men in English. We are a small non-profit organization, and we are working to unite women's group, women's association, and other feminist activities in Wallonia, and act as a bridge between them and Belgian politicians. We joined this network for multiple reasons. It is important for women that we implement time policies because, as we discussed already, they don't have as much time as men, and then they don't have the same time as men. For Synergie Wallonie, it is important to promote and raise awareness in the Federation Wallonia Brussels, which is basically the south of Belgium and the capital where we are active. Our association fights against every kind of discrimination and inequality women can face. Time policies are an essential tool for equality between women and men. One of our purposes is to implement time policies inside Walloon's town, cities, municipalities, and regions. Our role is to push them to do exactly that in the aim of promoting gender equality. We are also a member of Tempo Territorial, and as such, we organized in 2016 the International Time Policies Colloquium. We also organized multiple colloquium in Belgium, presentation to multiple towns, and presentation to local organizations. Being here and participating in this network will allow us to feed from your experiences, your good practices, and allow us to replenish our list of tools and become more efficient. So thank you for welcoming us. And I wish for Synergie Wallonie to be a great member of this network. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm pretty sure We are very sure that you will be a very active member, and again, a new opportunity to be in another European country very active again. And now, to finalize these welcoming words, I will give back the floor to Diana, who already presents herself and will explain why Bogota has joined to the network.
Thank you, Marta, in Spanish again. Okay.
Well, we have the conviction in Bogota that technical and decentralized cooperation is a key tool to strengthen government capacities and tackle the challenges that municipalities face. Thanks to exchange of good practices and lessons learned within the management of government in each city. The benefits of participating in this network have been clear, been borne out. A question of care has been an example in the local and regional agenda of time use, and this allows us to be able to share our experience with innovating care from a feminist perspective to make visible the good practices that emerge from policy. Let me conclude saying that it is very valuable that the network open up the possibility of integrating Latin American cities, and we'd also like to thank this effort for diversification. Thank you, Marta, for allowing us to form part of this network, and please, you can count on Bogota to ensure that we have a much wider network throughout Latin America. Thank you very much, Diana. Welcome. And I think now we've welcomed all
new members of the network, and we will finalize the event here at 12 o'clock in 5-10 minutes. We will have starting a new event where we will explain about concrete good practices implemented at the regional, metropolitan, and local level on mobility. So I ask you all to stay here connected, those that are connected and those that are on site. I'm going to ask you for a couple of favors. The first one is that the speakers will go outside and we will take a picture of the speakers, but we want to have a family picture. So all the other participants, we ask you to go outside and left, and we will have a family picture all together. Nothing else. Thank you very much. It's in name of the Barcelona Time Use Initiative. It's a pleasure to be secretariat of this amazing and with high potential network. And we really hope to work with all along together with you very, very soon. Very much. Thank you very much and have a very nice day.